Yes. Okay. So I hope uh, yesterday we have discussed about what is mean by chemical reaction and what do you mean by chemical equation and what are the types of balancing equation. We have seen some examples. Same way today we are going to discuss about what are the different types of reactions involves in chemical. Okay, in the chemical process, what are the different type of things will involve. Let me start the session. So we have classified. So what is chemical reaction? The chemical reaction is the process. The process in which reactant react chemically and it will convert. So already we have seen yesterday that chemical reaction involves in reactant and product. So there will be any two molecules or two components. They will be reacting each other and they will be producing the resultant as in a product. Resultant as in a product. So yesterday also we have seen that A plus B which will give C. So today we will be discussing about what are the different types of reactions involved in that. So here we have taken that live example for this chemical reactions also, that is respiration. So you can see that C6H12O6. What was the molecular formulas of C6? What was the name, common name of C6H12O6? I hope it is glucose, right? So it is glucose. Where oxygen takes place, this is happening in our human body. This is the general form for respiration. And the glucose which was reacting with oxygen and it will produce carbon dioxide, water and energy. So this was the general form, and this is also a type of chemical reaction. You can see, you can consider this as A and this as B, which will produce the product, C, D and E. So now we will be discussing about the types of chemical reactions. So first thing is combination reaction, and second one is decomposition reaction, and third one is displacement reaction, and fourth one is double displacement reaction and redox reaction. So we will be discussing each and every types of reactions in detail in upcoming slides. So combination reaction. First of all, what is mean by combination? So everyone will realize that. So dress combination, right? So dress combination will be there. So some people will say your dress suits well. Some people will say no, your dress combination is not so good. But in chemistry, if combination means there will be in a two molecules, or two chemical components will be there. Two chemical components or the molecules which will react with each other, and they will be forming only one product. For example, CaO. What is the CaO? Calcium oxide. Which is react with water. And they will be forming calcium hydroxide as an aqueous solution. So you can see here two molecules they have react with each other and they will be producing only one resultant molecule. So this is called as a combination reaction. So calcium oxide reacts with water and forms calcium hydroxide. This formation of water and some other examples also there. Okay, so even water formation. So yesterday we have seen how water will form. Hydrogen plus oxygen will gives, so 2H, O2 gives H2O. So water formation, there will be 2 hydrogen, 1 oxygen. So this is also example for combination reaction. So you need to remember one thing. What is meant by combination reaction? So two molecules, it will react with each other and they will be producing the single resultant as a product. So you can take it as one hydrogen. So two hydrogen with one oxygen, it will produce water. So where the two molecules react with each other and they will be producing the single product as called water. And going up, next reaction. I hope everyone understood. Please, if people are following, kindly take a pen and paper. Kindly note it down these things. These are very important and it is very basic for your 10th standard CBSE and it is very important for your board exams also. These all are very simple basic topics. So coming up with decomposition reaction. What does mean by decomposition? So single reactant. So you have only one compound. If you are treating that compound with some other external factors like heat, it will divide into two simple molecule or three simple molecule or more than two simple molecule. It is called decomposition reaction. It is called decomposition reaction. When single reactant break down, into simpler molecule and form a product, called decomposition reaction. For example, FeSO4. What does mean by FeSO4? Ferric sulfate reacted, which is heated. It will form Fe2O3 ferric oxide, SO2 sulfur dioxide plus SO3 sulfur trioxide. So only heat takes place here. Where it will split up all the molecule. So this type of reaction is called decomposition reaction. So combination reaction will be having two molecules. These two molecules will join together and they will be forming the product. It is called combination reaction when a complex molecule by passing a heat, it will be divided into two. It is called two or more than two. It is called decomposition reaction. I hope everybody understood about these reactions, right? So going up with the next. So next one is displacement reaction. The word called displacement. So what does mean by placement and what does mean by displacement? So if you understand these words, you won't forget about this concept. See here, displacement reaction. When there is a reactant, displacement reaction is a chemical reaction in which more reactive element displaced. It will be getting displaced a less reactive element. So more reactive element will be replaced with less reactive element. From its component. So whenever there is a high reactive element, it will replace this high reactive element with less reactive element. It is called as a displacement reaction. This is called as a displacement reaction. Both metal and non-metal takes part in displacement reactions. So here you can see that A is reacted with BC, and it will form AC and B. You can see here the alphabet. You can see here the alphabet B and C is reacted with A, but it displaces that C with A, and the final product you can receive as AC and B. So this is called displacement reaction. Whenever the molecule displaces the higher reactive element with lower reactive element, okay, it is called displacement reaction. So there is a live example. You can take copper sulfate solution. Take a test tube, add some 100 ml of or 25 ml, 30 ml of copper sulfate, add 2 iron nails in that. Okay, so take 3 nails. So place 2 nails in test tube, 1 nail as a test. So after some time you can observe there is a color change. Why this color change is happened? Because of the displacement of copper. Displacement of copper. So you can consider this equation. You can consider this equation that Fe plus USO4, CuSO4, it is copper sulfate. Iron reacted with copper sulfate, it can form iron sulfate where iron is replaced the copper. Iron is replaced the copper. So you can see copper has been separated. So that's why the color change is happening in the iron nails, right? Okay. So we can go for next reaction. Next reaction is double displacement reaction. So last time we have seen, before this we have seen is single displacement. Now we are going to see about double displacement. So name itself suggests. So here will be here the reaction will be displaced by two molecules or two ionic components. So ion components especially. So till now we have seen combination reaction, double displacement reaction, decomposition reaction. Now single displacement reaction. Now we are seeing about the double displacement reaction. Okay. A double displacement reaction is a type of chemical reaction where two component react. So where two component react, it won't react only one component, there will be in a two component, and the positive ion cation, and the negative ion anion of two reactant switch the places. So what will happen? It will switch the places of ions. And forming two new components or the product or a product. So it is called double displacement reaction. So potassium nitrate with aluminum chloride, where you can see here that displacement. So potassium nitrate, so NO is displaced with Al and Cl3 is displaced with KCl. So you can see the pure displacement. So you can see here the general form of double displacement. So A and B is reacted with C and D, where after the chemical reaction you can observe that A is reacted with D, A will join with D, and C is joined with B. So this is called double displacement reaction. I hope everyone understood about these type of reactions, and this is very basic. Kindly follow up with this thing. If you have any doubt, don't hesitate to put any comment on chat box. Kindly put your doubts in the chat box. We will be addressing your doubts to your mail IDs also. Okay, fine. So coming up with the next, so this is again, so next is double displacement, we have completed, and next one is a redox reaction. What is this redox reaction? So the name itself suggests there is a reduction and oxidation. Oxidation is there. So reduction and oxidation. So what is meant by reduction and what is meant by oxidation? So these two things happen with same chemical reactions. There is no changes. So both the thing, reduction and oxidation, will take place in same. It will take place in same chemical equations. The same chemical reactions. It is called as the redox. Or else, if it has happened only one process, for example, the oxidation alone it will takes place, it is called as an oxidation reaction. Or if reduction has happened. So first of all, you need to know what is meant by oxidation and what is meant by reduction. So what is meant by reduction? So those chemical reactions in which oxidation and reaction takes place simultaneously. So you need to note this word. This is very, very important. Simultaneously, or called redox reaction. The oxidation is an addition of oxygen. While reduction is addition of hydrogen. So whenever there is a addition of oxygen is there, oxygen is added, it is called oxidation whenever there is an addition of hydrogen or removal of oxygen. So you need to remember this thing. Whenever we are adding oxygen to the compound, it is called as an oxidation. Whenever we are removing the oxygen, it is called as an reduction. It is called as a reduction. If these two mechanisms takes place in same equation, if these two takes place in the same equation or same chemical process simultaneously, it is called redox. It is called redox equation. So here you can see, so CuO. What is this? CuO. Copper oxide. It has reacted with hydrogen. It will form. So you can see in the first equation, this blue line. It denotes that reduction where removal of oxygen is there. From copper oxide, we have removed one oxygen, and in H2, while adding H2, what is happening? The addition of oxygen takes place. Here you can see H2O. It is oxidation, and Cu is example for reduction. So you use example for reduction, and you can see next example also. Wherever you can see that removal of oxygen is there, it is called reduction. Whenever there is, you can see or observe that the oxygen is present, adding of oxygen, it is called oxidization. It's called oxidization. And going up with the next, so corrosion. So what is meant by corrosion? The metal metal when you kept exposed, react with air moisture. Whenever you kept a metal in a open space, air moisture, or treating with acid and other gases present in the atmosphere, the metal gets erode. What is meant by erode? It will lose their nature. And it will become very brittle or brittle. So it will become very brittle in nature. The metals are very strong in nature. Whenever it is get erode, it lose their nature. It lose their capacity because of changing in chemical constants. So that's why we are coating the metal substance. All metal substance which you are using, for example utensils you are using in your home, right? So all the metals are being coated. Ever silvers, so ever silver metals are there. So many alloys, the many alloys has been coated in a corrosion to prevent this corrosion. That's why year and year you can utilize the vessels, or else it will get corrode immediately whenever you are using this thing for cooking purpose or washing and all other things that you are doing, right? So what will happen? It will start corrode. Lose their nature of a chemical, right? So going forward with rusting. What does mean by rusting here? Iron metal when it left exposed again. So this is especially for iron. Whenever we are exposing this iron with the oxygen or water or moisture, this will form. For example, in your cycles, if your cycle paints are uncoated, if you are removing the paint from your cycle, so what will happen? Without using that cycle for some 3 months or 5 months or 6 months, the rusting will start form, and after that you need to clean up with some oils and you need to apply some paints to control those rusting. This is because of oxidation of iron. So see here you can see that reacts with the moisture and air, get coated with reddish brown. It will get coated with reddish brown powdery substance. What will happen? It will become powder and it will become brittle. If we could not use that iron substance, this is called rusting. And rancidity. So what does it mean by rancidity? So rancidity is a food material. For example, fat or oils. Whenever you are cooked some sweets, if you are preparing some jangri, laddu, this type of sweets, right? So if you are kept as like that for 15 to 20 days, what will happen? The sweet taste will differ. Sweet taste will differ because used oil gets denatured, it gets oxidized, have a bad taste. Even in oil also, if you kept unused and it start oxidizing, you will felt that there will be some bad smell. This is called rancidity. Okay, so I hope everyone understood about today's session, right? So we will be having a glimpse of today's session. So today we have discussed about many things. Number one is what is meant by chemical reaction, and what is mean by chemical reaction? What is the type of chemical reaction, right? So we have discussed about what is meant by chemical reaction and what is types of chemical reaction. The chemical reaction, we will be having the combination reaction, decomposition reaction, displacement reaction, and double displacement reaction, and redox reactions, right? So we have seen one by one. The combination reaction, as you are aware about, there is only two reactant which will form one product, that is called combination. That is the combination of molecules or combination of compounds will be there. And going forward, the decomposition reaction, whenever there is a decomposition reaction is there, the single complex element will form two or complex elements is there. If you are treating with those elements with some heat, so it will form a small chemical components, so it will be 2 or 3 or more than 2, that is called decomposition, reaction, okay. So next, displacement reaction. What is meant by displacement reaction? So as we see, the chemical reaction where more reactive element will be replaced with less reactive element. More reactive element will be replaced with less reactive element. And double displacement reaction, where the two ions will be replaced, especially the two displacements will happen, right? And redox reaction, there is an oxidation and reduction, and we have seen corrosion, rusting, and rancidity, right? So that's all for today's session. I hope everyone enjoyed the session. So if you have any doubt, kindly ping me through the comment. We will be addressing your comments. So thank you for watching Spy Acad. So once again, this is the 90 days challenge and crash course for 10th standard CBSE students. Make utilize of these things and kindly share with your friends and families who are